Hello everyone. As the 2025 year is coming to a close, I thought it would be nice to reflect on our year that has been and to welcome in the new with a couple of beautiful messages, intentions, and things that I wanted to share with you all. First of all, some of the things I'm super grateful that I got to do this year is connecting with you lot, with our Food Matters family. I personally have been speaking and connecting with so many of our students, whether that's through the student advisory calls, through coaching calls, jumping on and answering questions. And it's been really nice to personally get to know you guys all one-on-one and to also learn about your fears, worries, pain points, and why you wanted to join, why you are enjoying the course, and what you'd like to continue to do with it. So it's been really beautiful, and I've really enjoyed that part of it. And second of all, I wanted to also express my incredible gratitude for all of the course content, the teachers that have been part of the course that are continuing to expand the knowledge base, and the premise of looking at the root cause of illness, because that's really where it starts from, and that is also what sets our course apart from the rest of many nutrition courses that are around. And trust me, I have looked at many of them, even done many of them. And reflecting back on some of the conversations I've had with each and every one of you guys, it has come down a lot to mastering our mindset. And I think that's such an important lesson whenever we are creating a product, service, we are putting ourselves out there in the world, and we are showing up every morning, every day. How are we managing? How are we mastering our mindset? And I think it's nice to reflect on that this year. If you wanted to do a little closed eyes ceremony for yourself, or even if you wanted to do a little a meditation where you take some time out and you reflect on how you have been able to master your mindset this year and what you would like to change for 2026. If I think about how I personally master my mindset every day, is I do it through a specific type of clearing meditation where I even visualize clearing negative energy from my body, negative thoughts, any type of negative feelings, any type of stagnant emotion that we need to work through. And I like to do that through breathwork. It's a very, very powerful tool to really just delve deeper into where you are feeling that energy, and to really just allow your mind just to literally, if it's in your mind or if it's in your heart, to breathe it out through your mouth, breathe it out through your nose, and just to release. Because the more that we can start the day as a clean, pure vessel, that the more that we can open up to divine inspiration. So I invite you to, even every year when we first start a year, we also like to do that as well, to cleanse out anything that's no longer serving us. Pull it out, remove it, let it go, and to allow ourselves to be perfused with new beautiful thoughts, new images, new visualizations of yourself. If I was going to be doing that, I would be doing that with a piece of paper, a pen, and to really just allow yourself to have any type of fear, worries, thoughts, any types of negative emotions that are currently stuck in your body, just writing them down. What am I fearful of? Start with that question. And then you can write it at the top of the paper, and you can even, there could be more. There could be a sentence, there could be a word. Writing down our fears. What am I worried about? Writing them down as well. What am I angry about? Writing them down. Boom. And you're going to start to collect that piece of paper with possibly a lot of negative emotions. What am I resenting? You can write that down as well. And what that does, I know you're probably like, well, why would we want to be focusing on bad things and negative emotions? But what it actually does is it allows you to write it down, get it out of your system, and then you actually burn it. You burn it in a way that is sacred for you. So you take a piece of paper, that piece of paper, and you take a match, or you take a lighter, and you take that piece of paper in a sacred space, and you have a candle perhaps, and you burn out those emotions. You can rip up the piece of paper. But the idea here is that we're no longer letting it sit in our body, because those emotions, after a while, they can turn our body into a diseased state. So really ask yourself, do I want to hold on to these emotions? Do I want to hold on to that in my body? Where is it sitting? You know, like feeling into the tightness in your body, feeling in the tightness into our legs, or, you know, are you getting a lot of headaches? Is this something that you are currently constantly feeling annoyed about, something that's just bothering you, and it's constantly on the tip of your tongue? You want to talk about it. That is when we write it down, and you journal about it, you write it out, until you feel like you've actually got it out of your system. And then it's a beautiful way to start the morning or start the new year. So if that is something that it feels right for you, that practice, it allows you to clear the slate and not let this sit in your tissues. Because I feel like once we have it too much in our tissues and we're holding on to it, it's going to affect us, right? It's going to affect us in a whole different way. And we don't want to hold on to emotions and pain and suffering and create illness in our body. We want to release that. Another way that we can master our mindset is through our breath. So if you've ever been holding your breath, or you feel tight in your chest and you feel anxious, the best way to come out of that state is to breathe through it. So anytime we elongate our exhalation, it calms our nervous system, and it actually puts our body back into a state of equilibrium rather than in a state of fight and flight. So anytime we feel ourselves shallow breathing, and anytime that you are, you forget to breathe, because sometimes we're not conscious of how we're breathing, consciously take a breath and consciously elongate your exhalation, so you can put yourself into a really beautiful state of equilibrium where that calmness instantly comes back. You can try it when you're on the bus and you're running late and you just want to beat yourself up because you didn't manage to get out of the door on time. And then you allow yourself that small moment of time to breathe, and the anxiety goes away. So these really simple techniques that allow us to put ourselves back into a state of peace, even before we go to sleep, that small moment of time where we really just allow the day to go past, we don't judge ourselves, and we just breathe consciously, and allowing that exhalation and that deep inhalation, and to really fill up the lungs, the lung cavity, all of our lungs, right? The whole part of it, because there's so many different parts of our lungs that we don't use on a day-to-day breathing when we're breathing shallow. And so allowing yourself to have maybe 2 or 3 really deep inhalations and exhalations before you go to bed, and visualize anything that's stagnant or anything that's bothering you to leave the mind, right, through the nose. You're breathing it out. You actually visualize breathing it out, and it leaves your body. Visualization is such a powerful tool. And then another thing we can think about, or even journal on, is how do we master our language? Mastering our language. How do you talk about yourself? What sort of words do you describe yourself? How do you show up every day, and how do you use your language in a way that people like to hear it? Is it a powerful mantra that you could perhaps use in the morning? Is it something that you would like to say to yourself at night before you go to bed? And really become self-aware of your language and the power of the chosen word. And something that you can also do in the mirror, go into the mirror and just, really look at yourself and just say, I am here. I am here. I love you. And you actually start talking to yourself. You start having a dialogue with yourself. And I even with yoga and Rangi, sometimes I say in the mirror, gosh, I'm so beautiful. I mean, you're allowed to say that, right? And it's really important for your kids to also get and this feeling that their mother loves herself and she's feeling content about who she is. So maybe try to, if there's something that you can make a habit this year, allow yourself to use language about yourself that is loving. That is loving, right? Well, a better way to start. If you're not getting it from anyone else, you're getting it from yourself. And if you say things about other people or yourself that is unloving, you just say, no, cancel, I take that back. That was unloving. So really catch yourself. Another way that we can master our mindset is through our food. The food that we eat on a day-to-day basis, it is our fuel. It is our power to either feel good or feel yucky. And we can easily, it's the same experience, right? It's the same effort. You go like this and you put it in your mouth. And this could be like the most beautiful, healthy raw sprouts. And this could be like the most toxic soup. So every day it's our filter of, is this food going to make me feel vibrant? Is it going to make me feel alive? Or is it going to make me feel sloppy, tired, dead? And the way that I like to look at food, I like to look at it as like high vibrational food, or is this low vibrational food? So it's like this food, is it, you have a spectrum, right? Like we can actually measure that these days. You can actually put food or plants or fruit under a Carillion microscope and you can see the vibrational field of it. Like the rose, for example, a rose petal is 300 hertz. Or you can put a peach or a kiwi and you can see under this Carillion microscope, you can see the vibrational force of this type of foods. You can see it alive. And if you also put a Big Mac or a Kentucky Fried KFC or just French fries or foods that have been cooked, dead foods are no longer alive. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good to eat. I'm just saying, like, how alive do we want to feel? And the more vibrant and alive foods that we include in our diet, the more high vibrational that we're going to feel. Another way that we can master our mindset is to master our triggers. And I don't know who has to hear this, and I'm definitely still learning on this one as well, but sometimes we get overwhelmed, and it's called emotional flooding when there's a trigger, and that could be anything. Like you could get anger, you could get pain, hurt, you could feel sadness, grief, you could feel heartbroken, you could feel jealous. And these triggers, they have to do with obviously experiences that you've had in the past that have hurt you. And the most important thing here is that we try not to react straight away out of our hurt child, right? So the hurt child inside of us wants to react straight away and cry, get angry, have tantrum, all of these things. But the more that we can hold our center, the more that we can hold our energy inside of us, right, in our centers, the more that we can continue to keep in equilibrium.